Shalom, shalom. This is Judah Nick with Awaken Israel, and I'm going to be continuing the scripture reading. And yeah, see how it. Let's see if we find anything new today. Alright, this is Deuteronomy chapter 13:1. If there rise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and give thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign of the wonder come to pass, wherefore he speak unto thee, saying, Let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God proveth you to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your souls. You shall walk after the Lord your God, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and you shall serve him, and cleave unto him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to you. He has spoken to turn you away from the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy God commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from amongst thee, from amongst the midst of thee. Slakia. Ooh. Ooh. Verse 5. Yo, someone let me know if it's the stream's okay. Alright, you know what? Let me restart this real quick. Let me restart this the stream real quick. Alright, I'm going to continue to verse 5. Hopefully the stream's okay now. Just change the settings. Salakia, Salakia. Alright. Verse 6, Deuteronomy 13:6. If thy brother, thy son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is in thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely of the gods of the people which are round about you, so the heathens, nigh unto thee, or afar from thee, from one end of the earth unto the other end of the earth, thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him. But thou shalt surely kill him, thine hand shall be first put upon him, to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. And thou shalt stone him with stones, that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any more wickedness, as this is among you. If thou shalt hear, verse 12, if thou shalt hear say in one of the cities which the Lord thy God giveth thee to dwell there, saying, Certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which ye have not known. Then thou shalt inquire and make search and ask diligently, and behold, if it be true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying utterly all that is therein, and the cattle thereof, and the edge of the sword. And thou shalt gather all the spoil of it in the midst of the street thereof, and shalt burn with fire the city and all the spoil thereof, every whit for the Lord thy God, and it shall be a heap forever, it shall not be built again. And there shall cleave no of the cursed things to thine hand. So don't take any objects from among the heathens, that the Lord may turn from thee fierceness of his anger, and show thee mercy, and have compassion upon thee, and multiply thee as he hath sworn unto thy fathers. When thou shalt hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep all his commandments, which I command thee this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord thy God. Ye are the children of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor make any boldness between your eyes for the dead. So, if anybody doesn't know, the heathens sometimes did traditions where they did markings on their flesh or cuts in their flesh. So, you may not know it, but you're not allowed to get tattoos, guys. Tattoos is a no-no. So you can't make no cuttings upon your flesh, because when you get a needle and they need that thing onto your skin and you're getting a tattoo, it's making micro cuts and micro tears. So don't get no tattoos. It's a sin. Now, you may not be doing it because you want to serve some false god or whatever. However, we are still not meant to do it. So you may just want to get the tattoo because you believe it's nice or you like the design or whatever. But at the end of the day, we are not supposed to have tattoos. Salakia, let me see. Alright, so this is Leviticus 19 and 28. You guys can't see this on screen, but I'll read it for you. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. Now, what did this scripture just say again? In verse 14 and 1, you are the children of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourself, nor make any boldness between your eyes for the dead. So people used to worship fake gods, and they used to make these markings upon their body. Hey, those who want to keep the law and follow what the Father says, if you have tattoos already, don't continue any tattoos and don't finish them and don't do them. Hey, let's continue. Verse 2, for thou art the holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. These are the beasts which shall eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat. These are the beasts which you shall eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the hart, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pygog, and the wild ox, and the chamois. Slack if I'm butchering these names. And every beast that parteth the hoof, and cleaveth the cleft into two claws, and cheweth the cud among the beasts that shall you eat. Nevertheless, these you shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divideth the cloven hurt, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divideth not the hoof, therefore they are unclean unto you. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. So you're not even meant to touch swine, which is also known as pork or pig. You're not even meant to touch it, let alone eat it. We're not even meant to touch it. We're not meant to touch the dead carcass. Well, not the dead carcass, but we're not meant to eat it. So these you shall eat of all that are in the waters, all that have fins and scales you shall eat. So if anybody wants to know the food law, Deuteronomy chapter 14 and Leviticus 11. The food laws are listed twice in the Bible, and it's listed other times throughout scripture, however, like an extensive list, which is more thorough. Deuteronomy chapter 14, which we're reading right now, and Leviticus chapter 11. Alright, let's continue. And whatsoever have fins and scales you may not eat is unclean to you. So, if it's a living thing in the sea, for example, shrimp, lobster, crab, and it doesn't... Okay, shrimp, lobster, crabs, these you cannot eat because scripture says things that have fins and scales you can eat, but if they don't have fins and scales, you may not eat, as it is written. Alright, let's continue. Verse 11. Of all clean birds you shall eat, but these are they of which you shall not eat: the eagle and the ostrich and the osprey, and the gled and the kite and the vulture after his kind, and every raven after his kind, and the owl and the nighthawk and the cuckoo owl and the hawk after his kind, the little owl and the great owl and the swan, and the pelican and the girt eagle and the cormorant and the stork and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing and the bat, and every creeping thing that flieth is unclean unto you; they shall not be eaten. But of all the clean fowls you may eat. You shall not eat anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat, or thou mayst sell it unto an alien, for thou art a holy people unto Lord thy God. Thou shalt not see a kid in his mother's milk. So, when it says sell it unto an alien, that just means a heathen or a foreigner, someone who's not related to Israel by blood. So they can eat it, but we can't eat it. Why? Because thou art a holy people unto Lord. Holy means separate, for those who don't know. But yeah, let's continue. Verse 22. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there, the tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, of thine oil, and the firstlings of thy herds and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always. And if the way be too long for thee, so thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, then thou shalt turn it into money, and bind up the money in thy hand, and thou shalt go unto a place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or whatsoever thy soul desireth, and thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thy household. So, if anybody doesn't know about tithes, this is what tithes is. It is an offering. It was always meant to be food, increase of land, like animals and stuff. It is not money. It is I can't say this enough. It is not money. So don't go give your pastor or someone in that damn church building your money. Do not do that. That is not a tithe. They are just robbing you. They are taking your money. They are definitely taking your money. And you're giving it to them freely because you lack knowledge, which is Hosea 4 and 6. So you should get to reading, please. Because they just robbing you, which is sad, bro. But hey, let's continue. Verse 27. And the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he have no part nor inheritance with thee. So why was these tithes being done? Because they were for the Levites, because they had no inheritance amongst Israel. Their inheritance was the Father himself and the Lord. They had no actual own land per se. So this is why they got the tenth of all the increase of Israel. Hence they got tithes, which was food, not money. Once again, it is not money. Hey. Let's continue. Verse 28. At the end of 3 years thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thine increase the same year, and thou shalt lay it up within thy gates. And the Levite, because he have no part nor inheritance with thee, as I just said, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow which is within thy gate shall come and shall eat. See, shall come and shall eat, not no money, and be satisfied, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thine hand which thou doest. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yeshua. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Last chapter, guys, last chapter. And at the end of every 7 years thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth all unto his neighbor shall release it, and he shall not exact it of his neighbor or his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. Or a foreigner thou mayst exact it again. But that which is thine with thine brother, thine hand shall release. save when there shall be no poor among you, for the Lord shall surely save when there shall be no poor among you, for the Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for inheritance to possess it. Only if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of thy Lord thy God, to observe to do all these commandments which I command thee this day. For the Lord thy God blesseth thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow, and thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. This is also a future prophecy for the New Jerusalem, but hey, let's continue. Verse 7, if they be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother. Thou shalt open thine hand wide open unto him, it's like a wide unto him, and thou shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanteth. So take care of your brothers and sisters in need, man. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and thy eyes shall be evil against thy poor brother, and thou shalt give him naught, and he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be a sin unto thee. So, amen. We wouldn't know to this calendar when it's the 7th year, but we can still perform the acts of helping our brothers and sisters who are poor. So if they need something and you know you're capable of doing it, or you can help them in any form or fashion, by all means, man, help them if you are Israel. Shalom. Okay. Alright, nope. Alright, verse 10. Thou shalt surely give him, and thy heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thy works, and all that thou puttest thine hand unto. And thou shalt surely give him, and thy heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him. So the Lord will bless you for helping your brothers and sisters when they're in need, and especially if they are poor. So, hey man, it's a sin if you don't help him, and it's a blessing if you do help him. I mean, it's a pretty obvious decision to make. I would logically think so. You'd want to help your brother now. But hey, that's why I believe further down in the New Testament, Christ later on says, when has I helped thee? And he's like, when you clothed me, fed me, did X, Y, and Z amongst your brethren. This is also a reference to a future prophecy of what Yahushua would say. But let's continue. Verse 11, for the poor shall never cease out of thy land, therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother, to the poor, and to thy needy in thy land. And if thy brother, an Hebrew man or Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. And when thou sendest him out from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress, of that wherewith the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in the land of Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing today. And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee and thine house, because he is well with thee, then thou shalt take an oar and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever, and also thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise. It shall not seem hard unto thee when thou sendest him away free from thee, for he being wroth a double it's like, let me continue, start again from here. For he have been wroth a double high servant to thee, serving thee 6 years, and the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all that thou doest. All the firstling males that come of thy herd and of thy flock shall sanctify unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not do no work with the firstling of thy bullock, nor shear the firstling of thy sheep. So shearing means, I'm pretty sure it means, you know, when they shear the hair of the sheep. So you're not meant to like use it for coat skin or something. like the hair for skinning, if that makes sense, or for like a jacket. That y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Hopefully y'all do. So like if you don't, but yeah. Verse 20. Thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God year by year in the place which the Lord shall choose, thou and thy household. And if there be any blemish therein, as if it be lame or blind or have any ill blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God. Right. So if anybody doesn't know, Yahushua, or the one they call that J word, or the Messiah, is known as a lamb without blemish. He could not have been offered up to Israel. Let me rephrase that. He could not have been offered as a sin offering for Israel if he had blemish, which would be referred to as a sin. But in this, it's talking about physical blemishes of the lamb. But hey, let's continue. Verse 22. Thou shalt eat within thy gates, the unclean and the clean persons shall eat alike, as the roebuck and as the hart. Thou shalt not eat the blood thereof, thou shalt pour it upon the ground as water. So once again, bloody food we shall not have it. So I don't know how y'all like your steak, but if it's got blood in it, don't eat it, man. Don't eat it. There's some other foods people like with blood in it, but once again, don't eat it as the Lord has commanded. But yeah, hope that was helpful to someone in Yahushua's name. And yeah, so while for listening, this will be on a playlist. There's other playlists, I think, of Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus so far, I believe. And yeah, shalom, shalom, barakatah, barakatah.